me. Um, just checking to make sure that the mic and all that's good. Yep. All right. So yeah, hi. Today we want to talk about food consumables and where you would go to gather them. Specifically, what thus far the list of nodes that you can get. Now, before we get really into this, one of the set bonuses you are going to want in order to farm any food consumable item nearest I can figure is Forager's Luck there, or Imparted Wisdom. The set bonus that the set that I'm using is a mixture of Sild, Meloha, and Azus. Either of those, any pieces from those sets seem to reward Forager's Luck. There's a few other sets in the game that award it. Just give me a second. Something was flashing on my. Oh, I got another endemic life. You got it. Oh, right. I found these little woodpecker things in the plains and the smoke shroud gecko. The first time. What is this? Oh, right. Yeah, there. Those two. Anyways, so like getting food items. Where do you get them? You get them predominantly from shiny nodes. So the easiest way to get, say, Eastern honey is from a shiny gathering node of honey, or you can get a giant vigor wasp. You can capture net a giant vigor wasp or regular vigor wasp. That has a good chance of giving it as well. So Eastern honey, pretty easy to get, pretty easy to find. Moving on. The next one, wild herbs. In the beta, I found that it can drop from shiny nodes of herbs, but I have since learned that it can also drop from shiny nodes of Flowfern, Fire Herb, um, and basically any type of like plant consumable. It could probably even drop from a rare spot of Ivy. It's just an RNG. So running Forager set just increases your chances of that node spawning as a shiny, and therefore getting the food violence. Truffle de Conga, you can only get from Congalala, and only when he'll do like a digging animation, and if you can disrupt him from completing that animation and eating the mushroom, it tends to drop a shiny consumable that you can pick up called Truffle de Conga. You can also get that from trading with the Woodwoods. Now, the bad news is if you're looking for a large amount of Drill Shroom, I have not found any nodes, shiny or otherwise, that drop them. And if we actually look at the item description for that cooking item, it basically says, let's first off put on our mantle so we're not freaking getting whomped by a monster while trying to show the cooking ingredients. I guess I have to choose one, so let's see that. It says right there, if you look at the bottom, a mushroom that grows in a secret spot known only to the Woodwoods. An extremely rare delicacy that is cause for Woodwood celebration. Great addition to any dish. So these two, I think you can only get, much like the Kanafa cheese, through trade or through event quests. There will be an event quest for Drill Shroom and possibly Drilly Shroom as well. Next week on March the 18th of 2025 will be the first time, to my knowledge, that event quest has dropped. But that will be a good opportunity to get a lot of these. Most of which you've seen, I've gotten from trade. Same with the Kanafa cheese, except the Kanafa cheese, I have a bit more because I did some of the event quest with Chemetries. So there's a Chemetries event quest that drops these. It can drop a little bit of these, but doesn't really drop as much as it does of the Kanafa cheese and the Sharp. Which it doesn't drop a lot of the Sharp, sadly, but if you want like the highs, you have to really grind those event quests to get a vast quantity. Mud shrimp, I'm still not quite certain on. I'm going to assume, I have been told that certain endemic life in the Oilwell Basin have a chance to drop these, but I couldn't tell you. Fluffy egg, airy egg, these are also trade-in items only nearest I can figure, and they haven't posted an event quest for this yet. There might be an event quest later, no idea. Same with the Silver Garlic. These are, again, byproducts of farming, so most likely just trade-in items with the people of the final and fifth biome, Wyveria, or Ruins of Wyveria, in the town called Sild, which is why it's called Sild Garlic, because it's their specialty meal. So yeah. So most of these items on this list you can't get normally, you can only get through trade, nearest I can figure. And I'm just now noticing this. However, anything on this list, pretty much you can get. Some wild herb you can get from the sparkly herb gathering nodes, also known as rare gathering nodes of herbs, fire herbs, sleep herbs, um, the water herb there, I forget what it's called. So like anything that has like the symbol like wild herb that's shiny, you can pretty much get that from. Eastern honey you can get from Vigor Wasp, rare honey nodes, and regular Vigor Wasp. High chance. I'm gonna head back to base because Kongolala has interrupted, and I probably should have been doing this in base anyway. So that didn't happen. Apologies. So as we can see, like anything on that bottom thing you can get in the wild, as it were. Haha, unintended. So Monster Chili, the only node I found for Monster Chili is rare sandpepper nodes in Windward Plains. As far as I'm aware, that's the only place sandpepper grows. So sparkly nodes of that have a chance to give Monster Chili. Haven't found it in anywhere else. Jeweled Mullet Roe is a rare drop from gathering the endemic fish, Gravid Bowfin. I think it's just a rare drop from fish in general, but the Gravid Bowfin seems to have a higher chance of rewarding that when captured. Truffle de Conga, again, you can get this through trade. That's probably going to be the main way you're going to get a large quantity of this, or just hunt a lot of Congolalas. I suspect also it might be a food item in an event quest at some point, because it's not a very easy item to gather aside from trading. And when Kongolala digs and starts trying to dig for a mushroom, if you interrupt him, it will generally drop one of these. Wild seed oil you can actually get from any sparkly node of Nullberry, armor or mite seeds. Anything that's basically got the seed symbol, pretty much you can get from, except for sandpepper. So like, I'm trying to think of any else that it spawns. Those are pretty much it. Smoke's nut, I think you can also get it from as well. I could be mistaken on that. But, so that's probably the easiest way to get most of these ingredients. I'm sure Capcom will have more event quests for the ones that are harder to get, which can only be gotten through trade, since talking to Nada and going to item trade is the best way to get some of these. So, like, you can trade sandpepper for fire. If you had like the rare stuff, you generally get rare stuff. So like Jewel Shroom you typically get for like sparkly treasure. Delicious Shroom you get for the rare treasure. Shiny treasure, yada yada. So trade is a big deal there. Which means gathering is really a big deal if you think about it. Because the more you gather and that which you trade gives you more food items. Like Animite stuff is pretty much always traded for mushroom, if you care about that. I personally, I'm indifferent, but whatever works in the moment. Mushroom, I'll tell you, I don't use shrimp a lot. Do I want to trade for that? No, I want to trade with Ren for that. For Ren. Oh. We're going to hold off on that because there are better trades with Renwolf. You know what? I will trade Genesis for that. That's not bad. Ooh, nourishing extracted by wyvern spout. Now, if you're wondering how to get wyvern spout, I can probably make another video for the rarer ones, but you can actually just look it up online. That's how I figured out how to get it. Basically, wyvern sprout has a rare chance of spawning on any dead carcass after it hits the rotting stage. There'll be like a unique carve node on the carcass, and that's how you get that. Nightfire pollen, there's been so many videos on how you get that, but the answer is you can only get it. It only comes out during a full moon at night. So there's a whole moon cycle, 7-day cycle of the moon. And my advice is, when you think when you think that night is going to be the full moon, rest till evening and let it turn to night, because otherwise you're not going to get the night flower to spawn properly. I'm not certain if that's intentional or what, but it just doesn't spawn otherwise. Chalice weed, goblet weed. Goblet weed is a common. Chalice weed's the harder one to get. You can only get it from nearest I can figure. You can only get it from a special positive forest. I will have to do another video about that, which will probably follow this one. But right now, that is it for food items. Just keep in mind you can also filter all your map items by pressing triangle, going to gathering, and this will tell you all the rare gathering nodes that have spawned. So keep an eye out on that in your farming, and I hope you find the food item. This helps you get more of the food items you need and get a better understanding of what food items you can get from gathering and what ones you cannot yet.